and don't tell anybody what religion they are.
No, exactly. Well, this is why I like this idea of being able to change colour. That's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah,
you know, if
you're
you could
quite
be
right there, actually.
like a chameleon and you could just literally walk into a room and you'd be completely yellow or pink or something, you know.
Yeah,
something that would make people just completely ignore it because it'd be so wacky that they wouldn't matter.
Yeah, with the greatest respect, mate, the trouble with chameleonism is, are you actually showing your true colours?
Yeah, well, who knows? This is Mike Graham, this is Talk Sport. I'm going to go and talk to John very shortly, but let me do a couple more texts and emails. If our next government gives us up, lets us down or hurts us and the economy, they're going to have protests. That's the one that's texted in. Chris the Happy Hornet says, "Hi Mike, great show as always. This country has gone to hell in a handcart. I'm 49 years old and I've always worked and paid taxes. I gave up all hope that those overpaid idiots in power would do anything positive for the people, and I have dropped out of mainstream society. I now live on a houseboat in the middle of nowhere. It's the only way to go." Well, obviously not quite in the middle of nowhere, as long as you've got a radio and you can listen to Talk Sport. Pete from Dunstable says, "The public deserves one honest answer from Gordon Brown. When will our tax go up, given the millions of taxpayers' money pumped into the economy? After all, there is no such thing as a free lunch." I think billions of taxpayers' money you're thinking about, aren't you? Bruce from Bradford says, "I'm just tipping voting age. My 18th birthday's coming up soon, and I'm very curious as to what sort of recent changes in economy and government are going to affect me. I'm really rather confused, as I don't take any remotely political subjects at college. Oh, and if you read this out, I'd like to give a shout to the Brothers from Fortune image board." Now, the other subject, of course, we're talking about tonight is blushing. Why do you blush? Scientists have been studying this now for decades, and they can't work it out. They don't know why people blush. And they don't know why some people don't blush. They think that it might be evolutionary in the sense that we learned how to blush in order to show that we were honest. Because if you do blush, you're obviously an honest person. If you don't blush, you're obviously a dishonest person. But we had a conversation earlier about being a chameleon and how much fun that would be. We could eradicate all this racism and bigotry if we could all just change colour whenever we felt like it. And I'm not just talking about normal skin colours, I'm talking about multicoloured colours. You might want to be scarlet one day, you might want to be emerald green another day. Why not? Indeed. Let's see. M. Kips. "Hi Mike, great show. Keep it up. Whenever I used to get in a fight at school, my mum would get scared and yell at me and tell me I had to go and move in with my uncle many miles away. And when she was yelling, I would always blush. I can't explain why, but my best guess is that it has something to do with what you said about showing your real emotions. When Mum got scared and yelled and said I had to go live with my uncle, I felt really bad, and this answers why I would blush. It's been bothering me for like 9,000 years, trying to work that one out, but I think you've solved it for me. I blushed because I was embarrassed and ashamed that I made my mum scared." Well, I think that's probably true. Can you? 08717 223344. Richard in Astley, Lancashire says, "Personally, I'm no stranger to love, but whenever I see this girl, I turn red as a tomato. I just want to tell her how I'm feeling, but I'm just a big bag of nerves. Oh well." Well, that's interesting, isn't it? So you don't do that blushing thing just because of any woman. It's only one particular one. Well, maybe that means you are particularly nervous around her. Interesting subject. I can't see how scientists cannot get to the bottom of it. Let's have a word with Paul in Hereford. Hello, Paul.
Morning, buddy.
How you doing?
Yeah, not so bad.
Excellent, eh?
These scientists, yeah? They're retards, aren't they?
See, my argument is if we were all different colours on different days of the week, then we could probably do away with racism, bigotry and all the rest of it. Lisa in, Longcatston. I needed braces when I was 8 years old. They were horrible, and I blushed like crazy every time someone noticed it. Oh, if only my father had kept his dental plan. Grrr. It's terrible when you're a child, isn't it, and you blush all the time. "The last time I can remember blushing was in the early 90s, says Ben. "I was in a club dancing with my girlfriend. Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up was playing, and everyone was dancing, and I, in my drunken state, attempted to break dance to Rick Astley, of all things. It seemed like a good idea at the time. The result was my trousers ripping all the way around the crotch, and me spilling my drink all down myself, making it look like I'd wet myself. I'm never going to live that down." Never going to live that down. You could do it to the same tune, couldn't you? "I could blame it on the alcohol, but I'm laying the blame firmly on the feet of Rick Astley and his seminal 90s hit." Yeah, but I bet you didn't actually blush, because if you're that drunk, you wouldn't really feel so sensitive to other people's gaze, would you? Mr. C. King has emailed in through the website. He says, "I can't explain how important blushing is. If you could control it at will, you would be able to attract females and maybe even Pokemon with it. EPG would sincerely be proud. That's why we need to be able to control it." Well, maybe some people can control it. You know how some people can control crying? Some actors and actresses can cry literally on demand. Here's one from Chanley, who says, I was at the Trafford Centre in Manchester and accidentally a Coke bottle, and I accidentally, presumably, knocked over a Coke bottle in front of everyone. I've never been so embarrassed in my life. What is the step up from blush? I was that. Yeah, well, whatever that colour is, I don't know. 08717 223344. Let's go to Scott up in Glasgow. Hello, Scott.
Hi there, how are you?
Yeah, very well, very well. What would you like to say?
Well, I was going to take you up on the Catholic thing, but blushing has reminded me of a good story. I went to Philadelphia last year with my friend Robert Paulson, and we were playing a bit of basketball, and we started a fight, so we decided to end our holiday 3 weeks early, but we had to go to Bel Air with Robert to see his family, so we went for 2 days.
When you say you started a fight, what, you mean a real fight?
Yes, yeah. Well, we were playing on basketball in Philadelphia. As you know, it's a rough area, and we were told that this area is owned by a certain gang, and us crackerjacks, as they put it, should not be on their ground. So we simply left Philadelphia.
All right.
But we went to Bel Air, and we had a good time in Bel Air. And I was out dancing one night with my friend and his family, and just like that man earlier on, I tore my trousers. But I tore my trousers in such a way that the legs split.
All right.
And I had to simply buckle my belt a lot tighter so I could walk, and it looked like I was wearing leather chaps.
I can imagine.
Which wasn't really that fun, to be honest.
Which in Bel Air can lead to all sorts of problems, I can imagine,
yes,
because
indeed.
you could be accosted by quite the wrong sort of thing. But tell me, what was the piece of music that you were dancing to that made you rip your trousers?
Oh, I can't remember. It wasn't Rick Astley.
Wasn't Rick Astley? Right. Okay.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, you got something to say still on the Catholic schools front, or not really?
Yes. In my earlier years, I dated a girl that went to a Catholic school, and her head teacher, the man's name was David Davidson, strange name. He was a Protestant, and this was frowned upon in the community, but in recent years it's become more popular to have Protestant headmasters in my local area. So I find this strange coming from a man from that age, but it just sort of, I decided to phone in and raise this point that in the years gone by it was frowned upon to have Protestants in a Catholic school, and so
as pupils or as teachers?
Well, as teachers and pupils, I suppose. I didn't know any Protestant pupils from our school, but I did know of the head teacher who was a Protestant, and he was frowned upon in the community, but he was a good guy.
Right. Well, no reason why it wouldn't be. Okay, Scott, thank you very much indeed. Dean in Liverpool. Oh, sorry, Desu in Liverpool says, for 20p a day, a child in Africa can have clean water. 37 billion, spend it on saving lives or bailing out these bloody bankers. What do you think? Well, that's a good one.